any reason behind the poor shooting night from you guys overall, or just one of those nights?
What do you mean reason?
You, tired legs, schedule adding up on you guys?
We missed, that's it.
What did you say, or what explanation did you get right before the technical?
That I can't clap. I'm serious.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. And they took away my three. Like now you can get back, and they said that from New Jersey they called that it was out of bounds. So if the refs don't call it, they can go back and check. It's the first time I saw that, so I don't understand.
What did you make of their defense overall in Minnesota? It's one of the best defensive teams in the league in terms of the challenges they posed you guys.
I mean, they're good in both ways, offense, defense, man. They have an amazing team, and is one of the best in the league for sure. But I think there's one X factor. Naj Reid, he's an amazing player, man, and he hurt us today, so he's been hooping.
How big of a test was it tonight playing against Naj Reid, Gobert, and Kyrie?
It definitely was a great test. They're a great team. They have a lot of very talented bigs. So, there was going to be a lot of physicality, a lot of effort on the boards, and just a lot of effort on defense. I feel like throughout the game it was a back and forth type of game. We definitely showed that we was fighting through the game. We just wasn't able to pull it out at the end.
How do you feel like you played defensively against Cat and Gobert?
I feel like I was playing overall pretty well. There were some things I got to do better. Some screen coverages, sometimes I got to be able to help over quicker, not step out too far, so I can be able to get back to my man. So there's no dump offs. But overall, I feel like I improved a lot since the last time we met.
Speaking of the last time we met, you told me like you want to get more physical down low and things like that. Do you feel you were able to do that?
Yeah, I feel like I feel like my stance was better. I feel like I was able to hold my own throughout the post whenever I was battling down low for rebounds, for offensive boards. But, overall, I feel like, I've been able to put on some weight. I've been able to put on some strength, so it's definitely been able to help me in the long run.
From your perspective, like on the back line of the defense, what do you think of what Dereck Jones is doing on Anthony Edwards? Kind of like the point of attack defense tonight. What did you think of it overall?
I feel like he was doing an amazing job on defense, like he always does. I feel like he's one of our best defenders, if not the best. He's always a pest. He's always been able to make everybody with the ball, the dominant ball handler, uncomfortable. So I got to be able to be, thankful for him. He's making my job easier. So, shout out there for being able to just be overall just always a pest and always trying to be in the main ball handler's way.
What do you think about where this team is overall defensively right now? We've had some pretty strong defensive performances of late over the last couple of weeks. Tonight, hold a player like Anthony Edwards to a pretty low field goal percentage, even if you don't get the win they necessarily wanted. Do you feel like there is an arc? Is there an improvement to what you guys are doing defensively, and where are you seeing that growth?
Definitely. There's a lot of times where early in the season where we died on first efforts, and just seeing as the season goes on, we've been able to try to make it more of an emphasis of being able just to be all over, just scramming out for on defense, being able to get out on shooters, and just being able to talk more so that no one's just lost out there.
Dereck, your pick and roll game gets a lot of attention with Luka and Kyrie, but also the Euro step tonight, and then the hook shot and your short roll passing. What has been what from the coaching staff, that they allow you to show that part of your game? How does that make you feel?
Honestly, just being able to have that trust between my teammates and the coaches honestly just makes me want to play more free. I'm really thankful for them to be able to just allow me to make mistakes, allow me to learn from my mistakes and try to move on. There's some times where, for instance, I traveled in today's game, but, there's other times where I'm making the read out to the corner or either just getting all the way to the rim. So just being able to be more comfortable playing out of that situation because, most of the time they're either doubling Luka or they're doubling Kyrie. So that means the responsibility falls on me to be able to be a playmaker.
And what area of your game would you say has improved the most?
It's hard. I feel like my finishing with both hands has definitely got a lot better. And also my timing, being able to read the defense rather to see if there's one person in the paint, if there's two people in the paint, there's a kick out, or if there's a little in the paint, I got to go put them in the rim. So there's just a lot of things that, me and the coaches have been talking about, working on in the off time that shows that the work's working.
It seems like your screening has been an area that you continue to improve, whether it's like re-screening or slipping, like your timing on those How has that developed this season since you focused on improving since the summer?
It really just it depends from person to person. You gotta be able to know that, who's going under, who are they going under on, who are they fighting over, who are they gonna double. So just being able to know that different players operate differently off the pick and roll. So I gotta know that sometimes for Luka, I either gotta tap and go or I gotta hold the screen and then go down and clap. Or for Kyrie, it's a quick tap and go because he's getting off the screen, but I have my hands ready for the pocket pass. So there's just a lot of things I got to be able to just be aware of during the game and to try to make sure that I do it every time.
Was there any reason for the missed threes that you guys had tonight, or was it just one of those shooting nights?
Good question. It's just one of those nights. We got great looks. Timmy's 0 for 7. When you look at the guys who got looks, they didn't go down for us tonight. So we can't be discouraged. There's a lot of positive things. Again, Minnesota is the best team in the league, and we felt that we were playing well. Give them credit. But again, we had some great looks.
Coach Kidd, over the last 2 seasons, as it inched down to the end of the season, Luka was nearing that threshold where he could get suspended for technicals. Are you concerned at all with his techs so far this season?
No, I'm not concerned. We all understand when that gets what that number is, and so this one was quick. It's every crew is different, and so we have to be better. But it was a quick tee. Jason gave him a quick tee, but again, we just got to figure out what's right and what's wrong. The clap. A lot of players do it, and so some are called for a tee, some aren't. So just being consistent, that's all.
Is that something that differentiates from each officiating crew?
Yeah, we got to probably do a better job of doing a scouting report on each official. That's all. I mean, it's just part of the game of understanding who's quick to blow a whistle on a tee and who's not. That's part of the game.
You mentioned the good looks that you guys got from 3 and your percentages overall tell you should probably make those looks a lot of the time. How do you balance in a game like this wanting to stay consistent in taking those shots versus on the nights when they're not falling, if you need to adjust anything, if you need to take a different shot diet?
Yeah, I think one, you got to know who you are, and this is who we are. We can create a lot of threes. We got guys who are very dominant in the sense of being able to get 2 on the ball and advantage basketball. And there's going to be nights where they don't fall, but if we can continue to be consistent with being able to create those shots, then I think you look at the analytics, the percentages will tell you that you'll probably win more than that you lose. And so, but there's going to be nights when it just doesn't drop. But you got to continue to keep playing. I thought our defense gave us an opportunity there. Give them credit. Their bench was better than ours tonight. And so we'll go back and look at this and see how we can get better as we go out on the road.
Same question, but from a coaching perspective, how do you look at the process, which it sounds like you thought was, mostly good, and then look at the results, which clearly were not. How do you look at that when you're trying to assess what happened in this game, and how do you communicate that to the players?
Yeah, I think when we'll talk about it, understanding the ball touches the paint, they collapse, we get wide open looks. We made those against the Lakers. We didn't make them tonight. It's one game, but if we can be consistent where the ball is touching the paint and we're collapsing the defense, shooters are going to have to take those shots. And understanding we're promoting taking wide open threes, and this game is about who's going to make those shots. And if you do make them, there's a good percentage that you have a chance of winning that night.
What are some of the challenges that a matchup like Nats Reed poses?
Yeah, he's a guy. He's had a great year for them, and ever since he's been in Minnesota, he's been playing extremely well. So, again, coming off the bench, he can put it on the floor. He can get to the basket. He's a big that can handle, and then as you saw in that first half and for pretty much the game, he can shoot it. And we talked about him, before the game and at halftime. We got to keep him off the 3-point line, and we just didn't do a good job. We got to look at being better at that.
Coach Kidd, how are Josh Green and Maxi Kleber's recoveries going right now?
I think they're doing great. I guess they're doing great.
Do you have any updates there?
The update is they're slowly doing basketball stuff, but that's as much as I know.
What were some of the key things that you would like to build on from this game going into Portland?
Yeah, I think when you talk about the ball touching the paint, understanding Minnesota is different than Portland. When you look at the bigs, you got Gobert, Cat, Reed. They were having most of the time two bigs out there, and so it's not very similar. They're not. Portland's different than Minnesota. So, but the ability to play with pace was something that we did. I thought, well, we had some where we were playing with pace, and we had some turnovers that we normally don't have, and so. Just looking at the turnovers, we had 11 there in the second half. That's something that we don't normally do. We normally have the turnovers in the first half, and then we limit it to 2 or 1 or 0 in the second half. And tonight we had 11. So just looking at taking care of the ball as we go on the road.